Okay, hello, bullets. It has been such a long time, like, since I have done a G22 video. But yeah, so they ended up dropping a new album, a new MV. I'm gonna be just watching the MV for right now, and I'm gonna be also doing the little intro film that they did to like introduce the MV album new era that they're going in. So obviously we left off with them doing like the woman power like warrior kind of like vibe. So I'm wondering, like, I think I saw in the name of it, it's called like Introduction or something like to Eve. So I'm guessing they're going like the Eve and Adam kind of like route, but more, Eve is more like maybe the main character because, like, without women, like, where would we be in the world today? Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess maybe that kind of route with how, women empowerment is a very, like, big thing of theirs and their message with their music and their concept. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and watch the, like I said, little intro film and then move on to their, I believe, LAKUMPAKE. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. MV. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and watch, y'all. Okay, like an empty box. Oh, they said dramatic.
I am both the wound and the hand that sews it shut.
Ooh.
You are afraid.
Wala akong pake. Di mo kaya. Wala akong pake. Not too intelligent. Wala akong pake.
Sino ka ba?
Wala akong pake.
Emotional.
Wala akong pake.
Ooh, like the black.
Babae na tao.
Wala akong pake. Wala akong pake.
If I'm a good leader, I'm a bad woman. If I'm a good woman, I'm a bad leader.
Have your talent questioned.
Your power softened.
Your worth negotiated.
Now learn to sing louder. Dahil sa wakas, mas malinaw na ang layunin. Kahit pa paulit-ulit pang subukan tibagin.
Sa pangarap pa rin ako nakatingin. Hindi na uupo at maghihintay lang. Pilipina ako. Bigyan mo ako ng karampot ng lakas ng loob. Lalaban ako. Pilipina ako.
I call the music.
Beses ng nadehado. Lalaban ako.
Broke myself too.
I grew the love I wanted with the tears that I've hidden. Pain has changed me. Over and over and over. Pero lalaban ako. Because being alpha is not being above all. It is standing first, standing strong, standing together. Dugo, luha, puso. With pain as my armor and hope as my anchor, we'll hold on to our sound, masanda ng ilalapag, at tatapusin ng matatag.
Wow. I like the visuals. Ooh! The visuals. It's giving kind of like siren-esque, but also like very like
the wound and the hand that sews it shut.
oh, and the dissection of Eve. Oh, wow, that was like, I like how they took certain like I'm trying to like they talked about how if you're a good leader, then you're a bad woman. But if you're a good woman, then you're a bad leader. Where it's like kind of like, oh, like that whole stereotyping of like woman as a gender and all, because how they say like, oh, like if you want to be like a good woman, I guess, like in terms of like the eyes of like men, and especially back in the day, where like, oh, like you stayed at home, like you took care of like your family, like their home life, like stuff like that, and focused on that, and like that's about it. And then, but here they're like saying like, oh, but if you want to be a good leader, like if you were a good leader, like kind of like standing up against those like odds and like trying to like prove that women are worth more than what in the eyes of like men are, because like the world is still very what's it called, misogynistic. So like, you know, we're still in sometimes like still in a world like where men mostly have like power. So it's like very like, oh, like they're talking about like that stereotype, which like you can be both. Like there's not really like, I know it's like a stigmatism where people are like, oh, like it's like, oh, you have to be do one or the other, but you can be both. Like there's no like something saying that you can't. So I like that message because it's very much like within the realms of like what their concept is of like, you know, women empowerment and, you know, like not letting what society tells you is normal to like, you know what I mean, like to, you know, just challenge, you need to challenge that and not keep with the same like like societal norms, like especially like from back in the day when it's like not, that shouldn't be, you know, still valid now. It should be like we've kind of moved on a little bit and kind of like evolved in that, you know, women can, you know, stand the same ground as men. But I don't know if there are subs to this or not, because like it just says track, so I'm assuming probably not. Yeah, no. So like I wish they would have had, you know, we did get to hear some of the English words because obviously like they talk both languages, and you know they do have like a fan base where like there is a couple international like as well. But yeah, that's kind of the mood I got. But it also kind of gave me like, because I was thinking like Eve in terms of like more like it's still ethereal, but like more like in terms of like, you know, life, you know, like with like maybe foliage and stuff like that. Because you know we did get like more like a goddess kind of warrior like type with the last song with their like them being in like gold and all that. But here it's like more like, I don't know, kind of seeming more like siren, kind of maybe more not siren, more like maybe like more like Greek goddess kind of like vibes. Maybe, yeah, maybe with like the white and like the pearls and like the wet hair and like things like that. But then like I think it was like maybe like organza that was like the fabric that was like, you know, kind of like swaying and like the with the, you know, air being blown on them and like kind of like that. It's like very giving that, but you know maybe it's like because they also had like that rose, so maybe like symbolizing like a white rose and stuff like that. Because you know certain roses like have like types of meanings maybe because they, you know, ended up putting like that rose, like the dead rose in the box. And then, you know, I guess maybe like their motto or like their words of like encouragement or like maybe certain things they were like concerned about in that box. And then from that box, you know, like sorry, my voice is starting to go away. In that box, and then like it's from that, like those two things, like I guess maybe like talking about like how the struggles that they went through, because they were talking about that here like a little bit in the parts that I understood, and you know how that like kind of rebirthed itself into that like the album basically, because that's, I think that's the album cover. So I'm like, oh, it's very interesting to see like that little intro film and like it's setting the tone for what the album's supposed to sound like. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what the MV's gonna be like in terms of that. But I kind of want to watch this again to see like if I can catch or pick up anything that I missed. Okay, yeah, the first is like empty.
I am both the wound and the hand that sews it shut.
You are afraid. Wala akong pake.
Di mo kaya.
I'm guessing maybe like this light is supposed to be like them in the spotlight
Sino ka ba?
and the pressures of
Wala
that.
akong pake. Wala akong pake.
Babae mo tao. Wala akong pake. Wala.
Oh, I heard too soft, too emotional. Like I said, those stereotypes of a woman.
Leader, I'm a bad woman. If I'm a good woman, I'm a bad leader. Have your talent questioned. Your power softened.
Yeah.
Your worth negotiated. Now learn to sing louder. Dahil sa wakas, mas malinaw na ang
I
layunin.
wonder if this was like the lyrics
Kahit
maybe to
papaulit-ulit
their
pang
songs
subukan tibagin.
or what they're
Sa
saying.
pangarap pa rin ako nakatingin.
Hindi na uupo at maghihintay lang. Pilipina ako. Bigyan mo ako ng karampot na lakas ng loob. Lalaban ako. Pilipina ako. Kahit ilang beses nang nadehado,
The crying
lalaban ako.
stuff too.
I grew the love I wanted with the tears that I've hidden.
I think this was like represent their
Pain
journey.
changed me. Over
And over,
and over. Pero lalaban ako. Because being alpha is not being above all.
it is standing first, standing strong, standing together. Dugo,
Luha, puso. With pain as my armor and hope as my anchor, we'll hold on to our sound Masanda ng ilalapag at tatapusin ng matatag.
I like how it's dark and then it gets to like that. I love like the vibes of like the outfits. It's so pretty. Yeah, and then like that, and like also the pearls went in there too. So
And the hand that serves it.
the wound and the hand. What's it called? I'm trying to like understand. See what it's doing.
The wound and the hand that serves it.
So the both the wound and the hand that sews it shut. So maybe like saying like, oh, like myself, like me myself, like they're like, you know, I have like my own wounds or whatever, but like I'm able to, you know, solve or like heal those wounds myself. So like kind of like figure out my like like the problems and issues maybe. But yeah, it was very interesting take. But we're gonna go ahead and like watch the MV and see, you know, how that ends up playing into maybe like the concept of like the graphic, like the visuals and stuff like that. I'm really curious to see if this is like the background like noise that was playing, like not noise, the BGM in the back was like part of the track as well. Oh, there's the white box again. Because like a lot of people like dazed out or like zoned, I don't know, like. Oh. Ooh, oh, the blue. Ooh.
Napaghahalatan ko na sila. Akala nila di ko nakikita.
Hey.
Nagsisinungaling mga mata. Akala nila sa akin ang parusa. Nasa paligid-ligid
Oh no, to them together.
mga taong nahihibang. Naghihintay-hintay lang. Sa tsansang ika'y paslang. Nakikipagtago-tago.
Hey.
Taguan kitang-kita.
I'm guessing this is them in the box.
Talunan, ikaw ang talunan. Kasi lakumpake.
Hey.
Sabi, tumabi, tabi. Lakumpake.
LAKUMPAKE. Pake, right?
Sabi, tumabi, tabi. Kasi lakumpake. Kahit pa ulit-ulit, masubukan tibagin sa pangarap pa rin. Ako nakatingin, di mayo.
Oh.
Masasakit na salita pa ang wikain nyo. They keep on talking, I keep on winning. Hindi makikinig kahit pa they keep on trying. In my empire, I won't start a fire. I trust nobody if I can be an enemy.
Hey.
Sa paligid-ligid lang, mga taong nahihibang. Naghihintay-hintay lang, sa tsansang ika'y paslang. Nakikipagtago.
So yeah, definitely them in the box. So like, I don't know if them dancing is like them trying to break out.
Talunan, ikaw ang talunan.
Oh, they finally made it out. Ooh, come on, like these like earthy tones. Hey.
Hanggang salita lang yan sila, hindi ako magpapadala.
Ooh.
Hindi magpapadala.
I like the layering, like with Jazz's vocals there.
Sa sarili ka, kaya hanap mo maniniwala.
Woo!
Pagdalas ng negatibo, balikan nila akala.
Ooh! Come on, Jazz.
Sabi, tumabi, tabi.
and then everyone else goes back to like, oh, that's it. Oh, I thought it was gonna like, and there's a white rose, like I told y'all, like. Interesting. So like, I'm kind of want like, what is that supposed like? What is LAKUMPAKE? Like, what does that translate to? Because since it didn't have subs, but just like the feeling of it is like kind of something like similar to what they've already done before. I feel like, but it was definitely a lot more like. I don't know what you would call it. It's like it kind of reminded me a little bit of like reggaeton a little bit, and a little part of it. But it's interesting how they also like it's definitely them inside of the box where they, ended the intro film with. But I'm also assuming like is like the three different divisions of like the face on the box, like because one of them's like obviously the mind, one's like the eyes, the other one's like the mouth. That's supposed to like the cuts in between, is that supposed to like represent the three of them? Maybe is what it's giving. But it's like seeming like kind of basically I know it's gonna be like very like such a like basic like comparison, but it's definitely talking about like them being like maybe not just them, but maybe like more so like women being put in that box of what they need, what they should do, and what they shouldn't do, and them kind of like having that mirror in the side or whatever, and kind of it being dark, and them kind of like it's just AJ first by herself, right, and then you have Alfia come in on the side, and then the third one is Jazz. I'm assuming like the mirror is supposed to be like, oh, like kind of look into yourself and reflect on yourself and like see like you for who you are, not in the eyes of everyone else, maybe is what it's giving. So like them kind of like having that self-reflection moment is kind of them like, oh, like I can do anything, like I don't have to fit with these like norms, and like them finally realizing that, and like being together as a group, having that same message is them finally like breaking out of that box. Is that what I think that's what it's supposed to represent? But then also I'm kind of figuring out how like it's why it's called like the dissection of Eve, because like I said, it's very much like with Adam and Eve is what it's feeling like, where Adam, Adam was created first, right, and then out of Adam's like something like piece or whatever, Eve was then created, right, and then it was like them to be together and like the first humans, right? So I guess maybe they're trying to like put a little bit more like credit on Eve's like name and like her symbolism, because like after like Eve got tricked by the snake and eating like the forbidden fruit, people always like look down on her for certain things, her being like the cause of like like not destruction, but like what I mean, like kind of that way. And then she ended up being punished by having a child, I think, or something like that. That's how she ended up getting punished or something like that. So like but ultimately she is like the symbol for like birth in itself, and like being like the main like character like of a woman, first like history of a woman. So it's like very interesting to see how that like maybe goes back and like challenges like that perspective or like that view on her, maybe, or like that's what it's kind of giving in a way, like in my opinion. Like in no way am I religious for y'all though, because like I'm just kind of like basing it off what I do remember from the story of Adam and Eve. But yeah, it's also giving like that, them like I said, challenging the norms of what our stereotypes of what women should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and like with them and their message being about women empowerment, it's like very much like challenging that and continuing to like pursue that message with their music and their concept as a group, because they're like very about women empowerment and very much about like, oh, like we can equal rights for everyone, basically, right? So it's giving very much that, and like them being in that box is like them maybe maybe like haters or like people viewing them a certain way and like wanting to like being like, oh, like you have to like do a certain thing a certain way, because it's also like that with being any type of like music industry, whether it be like K-pop, P-pop, like T-pop, like any like music industry. It's like very much like that, where they like to sometimes they don't view women even then in those industries as equal, or they try to like sometimes they like over sexualize them, or like see them as like little, like what I mean, does that make sense? So like it's very much kind of giving like that vibe of them like trying to challenge as always those perceived like social norms, and like trying to break that out of that certain label or certain like stereotypes. So then, you know, they finally like look into themselves in that video in the mirror and kind of like finally break free. So I'm like wondering what the dancers are supposed to represent, because if you notice that like in the beginning, like they're all surrounding this box, and they're like, you know, all just kind of like facing different ways, but like I don't know, it's very interesting. I don't know that they're supposed to like represent like the general public, or you know what I mean? Because they're all just kind of like statues here, is what it seems. And then you just have this like box in the middle and the mysterious smoke. But yeah, you see like, you know, AJ's like, you know, has her eyes closed but looks like she's in pain, and then that mirror being the only thing in there, like maybe battling your inner demons and stuff like that. Yeah, and then, you know, Afia comes in. But then everyone like starts getting up too, so I'm like, and then everyone's like going towards the like, but then that also, you see it's getting unlocked. And then everyone's starting to dance too, so I'm just like, but the blue outfits are so pretty. I love it.
Kahit pa ulit-ulit Pangsubukan tibagin sa pangarap pa rin Ako nakatingin, di mayayanig Mas nasakit na salita pa ang wikain nyo They keep on talking, I keep on winning Hindi makikinig kahit pa they keep on trying In my empire, I won't start a fire I trust nobody, cause I could be an enemy
Hey. It's like them like, you know, reaching to I think it's like them trying to open the box, right? Like, it's very simple, but I think it gets the message across very well. And also like how we get to see them, you know, their performance as well, like the dance of it. And like the quote unquote like a flash mob in a way. Ooh, like the layering of like AJ and like Jazz. Cause I know like in some like, cause I know white is like usually like purity, but isn't like a white rose sometimes kind of like a symbol of like hope or like a promise maybe? So maybe that's what why it's there at the end. Or like it's also, you know, that it being finally like reborn from the box, because you know the box in the intro was a rose as well, but it was dead. So now that it's been opened, like it's, you know, been reborn. So very, like I said, there's a lot like I think you could end up, you know, assuming or end up like having your own interpretation of. But I'm really curious to see like, you know, if they end up like talking about a little bit more about what the whole, you know, theme and like message of it is. Cause like I said, pick up bits and pieces here and there, but like this is just what I think it means and like what they're talking about, just based off like similar like themes that they always kind of like go back and, you know, discuss throughout their discography. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one.